Somebody that signs up today for $35, I think it's a 3-step process online, it's as simple as that, is in business for themselves.
And I had 5 pharmacies in the city of Philadelphia. We had 36 employees, 6 trucks delivering on the street.
I had to see patients on a daily basis. I had to do surgeries. I had to take calls at night. Sometimes I go home maybe at 11 o'clock at night.
I would get calls in the middle of the night, people who were out of oxygen, and my respiratory therapist wasn't answering the phone, and I had to go 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to deliver oxygen.
I realized that here I was doing 60, 65 surgeries a month, but if I don't show up, my income, dropped down. Then I was introduced to the power of residual income.
In this type of business, the investment is small. There are no employees.
In 12 months, I was able to duplicate my income as a surgeon. So I said, well, I might as well just close my practice and do Xango full-time.
Traditional business, no more.
And I remember sitting on the front of the boat and watching the sunset and making my phone calls and answering my emails and thinking, this is life the way it should be. I didn't have a cubicle. I didn't have to report into an office every day. We were working our Xango business the entire week on a sailboat in the middle of the Caribbean.
Initially, our goal with this was to make enough money so that Dustin could be at home with our children. Within 7 months, we were able to do that.
We can just talk to our friends, and pretty soon we're signing them up and building a business.
You can be a stay-at-home dad or a stay-at-home mom. And to me, this is a unique industry that gives you that opportunity, but you've got to want it and you've got to want to take it.
We're not jumpers by any means. And when I saw Joe's story, I said to him, this is it. This is the one.
This was pretty unusual as well, so I thought she was like crazy. I mean, I was the one always looking, and here she says, this is it, get me some of that juice.
And never in my 31 years of networking have I felt so secure that it's going to be there for my grandchildren.
People ask us all the time, is the opportunity as good now as when you first got started in the business? And I will say to them, we actually had our best year in 2009. We rank advanced, our business grew, our checks increased, and this is at a time when most people and a lot of friends and neighbors were experiencing tremendous hardships.
It's never too late when the mind is right and we take action.
There is no secret. There really isn't. You need to have a dream. You have to believe. You have to make a decision. You have to be determined to win no matter what, and not let anybody step on your dreams, because it is possible in Xango. I can't promise you any other company, but in Xango, you can do it.
As my wife was always fond of saying, what we do is we tell people we care about something we believe in, and we do it consistently. And that's key in this business.
That's why we're growing so much, because we do believe in what we're doing, and I'm sure that this is an opportunity for everybody.
My sponsor called me 5 times. I said no 4 times. Twice I was a complete jerk. So if you're watching this DVD, understand this: somebody cares about you. Somebody is willing to get out of their comfort zone to do what most people won't do. And that's all this is a comfort zone business. If you hand out DVDs, CDs to people, you're going to get results. You don't have to be a superstar. You shouldn't change who you are in life to try to make this work.
We're cocooners. We don't like to leave the house much. So we don't do meetings. We go to events, but we built all the way to almost the top level of the company, just talking on the phone, working from our house, using the internet, the telephone, and the mail. And that's the kind of lifestyle that we like.
I remember thinking, this is a lie. This cannot be true. I mean, nobody's paying this much. This is crazy.
If there is one thing I'm most proud about the compensation plan, is that we are regularly applauded for its simplicity.
And it's easy to explain. I mean, I can explain the basics of it, and I feel like they'll understand and be able to go on and explain it to somebody else because it's so simplified.
And I wanted to be with the company where If I sign a distributor up who sells one product to one person, they get a check in the mail.
You can get in anywhere, and you can make more money than somebody who got in at the very beginning. That's what's so special about this comp plan. It's how hard you want to work it is what you'll get out of it.
Everybody gets a check, regardless if you sponsor one person who buys one product or whether or not you sponsor hundreds or thousands of people or build a dynasty organization. Everybody gets paid according to their own effort. So to me, that's the perfect thing to look for.
Our simplicity allows us and our distributors to focus on growing their business and being rewarded for that, as opposed to getting involved in the nuances of trying to play games with a plan or figure out the gimmicks.
I have so many people that never had any experience of making more than $10 a month, making over 1,000, over several thousands, because it's simple. Everybody can understand it.
I know no other company that lets you, with 3 people, get the depth of the pay plan, 9 levels, and have all its global bonus and receive all of the pay plan.
After my previous experience, oh, it was heaven. I left the other company without understanding the compensation plan. After 13 years, I swear.
I was involved with 3 companies over a 5-year period, all of which failed, and I had a cynical mindset. And so when my sponsor contacted me about Xango, I congratulated him for his new venture. I thanked him for his time, but I said thanks, but no thanks. When he called back to follow up, he asked to speak with my wife. And while I said no, she said yes. And that got my attention. And we decided to take a close look at Xango.
$500 a month would have changed my life because it would have made my car payment. When we got to 500, I knew we could make 1,000. When we got to 1,000, I knew we could make 5,000. When we got to 5, it wasn't so tough. I knew we could get to 10. When we got to 10, it was like, ooh, we can have this or that or whatever.
We started out rather slowly. Our first monthly residual check was a whopping $88 US. And then it went to 168 and then 763. Now, none of those amounts were very impressive, but the rate of increase was impressive. And so I sat down at that point in time and I extrapolated into the future, given this rate of growth, where will we be in 12 months? And I came up with a figure of $18,000 per month. When the 12th month rolled around, we were at $18,771. And many of the people that had previously said no said, wow, now we get it. Now we're ready.
11 of my friends and some people that I've met before joined in, and in about 18 months, that grew to 45,000 distributors.
They say these things are pyramids. Multi-level is not a pyramid. There are people in my business that make more money than I do, and you know what? They deserve it. They're better than I am, and that doesn't bother me a bit to say, because it's a fact.
It's better to come into Xango right now because everything is in place than when it was 6 years ago when I came in, when we were trying to decide on what business model we were going to use as a distributor, as to how we were going to actually work the marketing plan so it worked best for everybody. We have all of those things worked out, ready for today's average person or network marketer to come into Xango to have an absolute success.
Well, there are people that believe that you've got to be early to be successful in network marketing. And I would simply make the following observation. I'm 17 levels down from the company, and yet we have the largest check. It's kind of interesting to see that, and that tells that we have a level playing field. There are people in my organization that hold the potential to build a larger check than me.
All of the people that said no to me in the beginning are in my business now. Every one of them.
We know that this is the best plan B that there's ever been created.
You've got a product that works, you've got a management team who just loves what it is, and you've got to have a compensation plan that people can actually make money.
It's not difficult. It just requires consistent application of tried and proven principles that will get predictable results.
It works. You can make more money in less time with fewer people in Xango than any other company.